Greetings and salutations to all of you. These may be it's such a pleasure to have the company of so many of our senior teachers and giving them a chance for us to all share and for us to all be in our homes, in our home countries. And at this, we have to invoke first, don't we? Yes. Okay, so let me just put this on. And we'll start with the invocation in English. If you're muted, then you can speak aloud, and then we'll go around to the different countries. So here we go. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. So let's go to Hauke and Baraka for German.
Dem einen entgegen, der Vollkommenheit, der Liebe, der Harmonie und der Schönheit, dem einzig Seienden, vereint mit all den erleuchteten Seelen, die den Meister, den Geist der Führung verkörpern.
Español.
Hacia el uno, la perfección del amor, la armonía y la belleza, el ser único unido a todas las almas iluminadas que forman el cuerpo del Maestro, el Espíritu guía.
I mean, let's hear Russian. Someone offered to recite in Russian.
Единому, совершенству любви, гармонии и красоты, к единосущему, объединяясь со всеми просветленными душами, которые образуют воплощение Мастера, путеводный дух.
Check.
Jedinému, dokonalosti lásky, harmonie a krásy, k jedinému bytí, spojenému se všemi osvícenými bytostmi, které tvoří vtělení mistra, ducha, jenž vede.
One thing thank you so much. One thing that would be nice is when you come on, even before you recite, just to introduce yourselves and what country you're from. Anyone here can speak in Dutch? In Holland, who's in the Netherlands? Okay.
We have Danish.
Danish, thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I live in Scotland, grew up in Denmark. I'm happy to be here today. Hen imod den ene, fuldendt kærlighed, skønhed og samklang. Den eneste væren, forenet med alle de oplyste sjæle, som legemliggør mesteren, ånden, der vejleder.
Amen. Varda, let's hear it in Hebrew.
Unmute. Hi, I am Varda. I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I haven't read this often, but I do know Hebrew and speak it most of the time. Likrat ha'echad, hayahid ha'echad v'hameuchad, shlemut ha'ahava, hatzedek v'hatiferet, hanimsa hayachid, hakolel kol haneshamot haneorot, yotrei chag Shamat Harabi Haruach Hakodesh.
Amen. Amen. Joy, let's hear it in French.
Vers l'unique, la perfection d'amour,
d'harmonie et de beauté, le seul être uni à toutes les âmes illuminées qui forment l'incorporation du Maître, l'Esprit guide.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell everyone your name and where you're from.
My name is Joy Azima, and I live in Brittany, and I'm from England and Denmark.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, my dear. Rahima, let's hear it in Hawaiian.
Rahmana, I'm living in Phoenix.
Oh, Rahmana, I mean, yeah.
Living in Phoenix now. Ikai, ka hemalele, o ke aloha, kaukahi ame kanani. Ke kanaka valino, hui pu ia, mena ohane malama lama. Kamea ihana, ka ho'okino o ka haku, ka ohane o ke alakai.
Aloha. Who have we forgotten?
Ireland.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Zahira Noor, and I'm from Dublin in Ireland. Bien an luchta is orda. Fofis an gra an cóceachta agus na háileachta. An té spiridalta tanasha. Le tinne na hanamacha. A yela vi an iva na moshtacha. Spirit na háileachta.
I mean, thank you. And please, have I forgotten anyone else?
Me, I'm Sagara Sofia from Berlin, Sakro. Dem einen entgegen.
We've already said it in German.
Okay. Okay.
Dankeschön. Schön gemacht. Let's sing a little together. I think most of you know this. This is something that Tansen brought to us. The journey of the lover and the beloved. Radhe, 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 Govinda Bolo. Radhe, 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 Govinda Bolo. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Radhe boy, you're supposed to be singing with us. Come on, Radhe boy. I want to see the lips move at least. Radhe boy, Radhe boy, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe boy, Radhe boy, Radhe boy, Radhe boy. Radhe, 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 Govinda Bolo. Sing louder. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda Bolo. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Govinda, 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 Radhe Bolo. Radhe Bolo. Radhe bo, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe bo, Radhe bo, Radhe bo, Radhe bo, Radhe, 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 Govinda Bolo. Radhe, 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 Govinda Bolo. Govinda, 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 Radhe Bo, Radhe Bo, Radhe Bo, Radhe Bo, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Bo. Radhe Bo, Radhe Bo. I'd like to do a few things together before I pass it on to our Murshid family. Uh, I'd like to continue with the same practice we were doing. I think it's useful that we continue with these same wazifas, and it's three wazifas together. They appear in the list in order, in that same order, and Ya Wahab, Ya Wahab, that the flow, everything flowing. Ya Razak, having everything you need, and Ya Fatah, as Anayat says, opening all doors to your life's blessed mission. So let's recite together, and the invitation is for us to put it into our daily morning practice together as a community, and keep it up as a practice until the next time we meet together. So I'll just do it 11 times with everyone, and then when we do it as a fikr, you can recite all three names on the in-breath and all three names on the out-breath. Ya Wahab, Ya Razak, Ya Fatah, 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 Ya Wahab, Ya Razak, Ya Fatah. So continue as fikr, breathing in the three names, breathing out the three names, making that sincere wish and aspiration that everyone has everything they need, that they realize that they have everything they need, and that they have what they need for sustenance, and that the way to limitless freedom is open. I did want to pose a question for all of us. I believe it's the question of the moment. Not so much to give it an answer, but to give it a question, and have that something that we can focus our attention on. And this is the question, or a way to express the question, which is, what have we learned now that we've been sheltering in place for up to 2 months for some of us, as we gradually begin to change the nature of how we're behaving in this pandemic. So to question ourselves, what have we learned? What are the lessons we're going to carry forward? And just a few reflections of the things that have occurred for me. I think most remarkable, if I reflect on my family in Mother India, in Delhi especially. Now, if you are, some of my Marids are in their 30s, maybe in their 40s in Delhi. I don't believe they've ever seen blue sky in Delhi up till now. This is a first. And now they've been seeing it for over a month. So I would imagine that their lives won't be the same when life starts to go back to whatever normal means. And so there's that hope that they've tasted something that's possible. The other two reflections are that if we want to have a strong capacity to understand and keep this virus in check, we need to work globally. Scientists, for the most part, know global. They know no boundaries. Science is science. Let's get together. And so I believe that we've been given instructions to, in the same way that Hazrat and Kahn came and brought universality of religious ideals and universality of human ideals, that this virus has given us that message, and that just like this call, where we get to be together all over the globe. So I believe that's also there for us, that we want to work globally. So before we go to the Murshids, we want to hear Murshid Sam's voice and Murshid Moinudeen's voice, Pir Moinudeen's voice. So we're going to start with Murshid Sam. We have lots of little recordings, so it's like a 2-3 minute recording. Thanks to Abraham, who posted them. All of these recordings are there for you on murshidsam.org. murshidsam.org. So Christine's going to play the music, and then I'll hold up a picture of Murshid Sam while we're listening. Go ahead, Christine.
I'm tired of people telling me of instant Zen. My master told me, if you cannot bring a disciple to enlightenment by 5 minutes Zen, you're not worth becoming my disciple. I practiced 15 minutes Zen and a half hour Zen and an hour Zen and then 2 hours Zen and then 4 hours Zen and then 2 hours Zen and then a half hour Zen and then 15 minutes Zen, back to 5 minutes Zen. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. In the hour ye think least the Son of Man cometh, in the twinkling of an eye. I can quote scriptures Zen style faster than any Protestant can. Because one has had the experience. This isn't study. Then you are master of all scriptures.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This other picture, so that was Murshid. Just to go back, this is Murshid Sam, probably at the Sausalito Arts Center, but I'm not sure about that. But that's Alauddin Matthew, our choir director, at his feet. And he's wearing his green robe, and he's probably leading us an Allah, 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 Allah. And you can see it's quite a crowd. This other picture, this is Mendocino Sufi camp. There's Moinudeen in the center. I'm next to him. I believe that's Rahima, that means daughter of Hassan and Jahanara, and Fatima, Murshida Fatima. Go right ahead. Let's hear Moinudeen. Thank you, Pierre Moynadine. Folks, so we have a wonderful group of Murshids to present, and we'd like to do some Q&A afterwards. And so I'm not going to try to stick to the clock where we're going to end at a certain time. We'll just let it go as long as it goes, let it have its breath. And we did find something beautiful that at the end, when we closed the meeting, we left Zoom open and let us all visit, and that turned into something very beautiful as well. So we'll, at the end of the call, we'll unmute everybody and we'll all be able to see each other and chat with each other. So I'd like to start with Murshida Mariam, invite her to start us off.
Hey. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Kareem. So, time for a little story, a story that comes to us from the sacred scriptures. We can find this story referenced a little in those books we call biblical, and we can find a little piece of this story also mentioned, not by the name, mentioned though in Holy Quran. And this is the story of a mother and a child. So let's continue on the breath. Those 3 waza'if that we did with Pure Shabda, which are quite relevant to this story. Let's travel together to the desert. And we get closer into some rocky terrain and vast, vast sand and dunes. We begin to observe a compound. We come closer and we hear laughter coming from a tent. And we go even closer and we look inside and we see that one we know as Ibrahim. And he's with a little baby. And the baby's name is Ishmael. And he is with the Egyptian known as Hagar. And they are laughing, and Ishmael, he's just learning to walk, and he's falling down, and they are in such delight. And Abraham leaves after a time and journeys to the tent of Sarah. And we've been at her tent, and we've looked outside, inside. We see the baby Ishak, Isaac, asleep. And Sarah, the lady of the compound, she is outside and she is not happy. She's looking to the tent of Hajar, and she's listening to that laughter and she is not happy. When Ibrahim returns to Sarah's tent, she says to him, she must go. And Ibrahim surrenders and says, this is the will of God. The next morning, he goes to the tent of Hajar. He brings some water and some bread and says, we're walking in the desert. And they leave and they walk through the rocky terrain, through the sand, over the dunes, deeper and deeper into the desert, perhaps where no human feet have trod before. And they get to a place and Ibrahim says, it is God's will. I am leaving you. And Hajar says, oh no, you are joking. Ibrahim, you're not leaving me and Ishmael here. And he says, it is God's will. And he turns and he begins to walk away. Hajar, she eats the bread, she drinks the water, she feeds her baby, and she puts Ishmael to sleep in a nest she has made underneath a very thorny and desiccated bush. And she stands up and she begins to pray with such passion, help, please, I must save my baby. And she sees the 2 hills of Safa and Marwa. And she begins to run, thinking perhaps from one of these hills there is even a trickle of water. And she runs back and forth 7 times, looking, pleading, praying, begging. And there is no water. She returns to the baby, to his nest in the sand. He's not asleep anymore. He is crying and he is hot. And she is hot. And she is begging. And as she is praying, the messenger of Allah, Gabriel comes. And she says, we hear your prayer. We know of your necessity. And brings the great wings that then tap onto the sand. And from those wings, that tapping, arise the well of Zemzem, that great spring from which pilgrims still drink today. And pilgrims still in this time of Hajj, of Ramadan, of Umrah, run back and forth between these 2 hills, these 2 mountains, praying. And so we end this story, this little piece of our larger human story of Hajar and Ishmael. We know they survive in the desert. We know they thrive. And here we are today. And so the story ends. And let's do 3 Wahab, Razak, Fatah, in honor of this mother, this child. Ya Razak, Wahab, Razak, Fatah. Wahab, Razak, Fatah. Wahab, Razak, Fatah. Amen.
Wow, thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Murshida. Our thirst is quenched. Let's hear from Murshid Sadi. Welcome to the call. Welcome to being with us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome from Scotland. Greetings from Scotland here, where the sun is gradually heading toward the horizon. And as Murshid Mariam mentioned, during the same time that we're undergoing all of these things that we're undergoing, also there is Ramadan going on. And Ramadan is the time in which Prophet Muhammad originally received the first verses of the Quran. And those first verses go something like this: read, Ikra, in the name of your Lord, Birabi. Read what? Many Muslims interpret this to mean that he's supposed to learn how to read. He was illiterate, but that's, of course, absurd. Instead, what he's being asked to do is to read the signs in nature around him, read what's going on around him, and understand that there's one author behind the whole story, behind the whole creation story. And so we're also being asked to do the same during this time, is my feeling. It's in that anything that we witness, whether it's, you could say what goes out as news on the television, or whether we actually are witnessing in those around us or in nature, we try to find, a part of that reality that's being expressed either in ripe ways or in unripe ways. So I'd just like to briefly lead a practice that we all know, but perhaps that we can view something familiar or feel something familiar in a little different way. And these are the healing breaths, sometimes done with the elements of pure Murshid Kahn. So what I'd like to request that we do is first we'll receive from each of the elements, breathing in Ya Shafi and breathing out Ya Kafi. And then as we come toward the end where we bring them all together, we allow ourselves to feel as though the elements are coming through us, that we are in the elements themselves. The elements are living beings. They're not substances, objects outside of us. They are living aspects of Allah, living aspects of the only being that are always within us, but we forget. And so as we forget that they're within us, we also forget that these are living beings around us, and we begin to treat these living beings as though that is nature, as though it was an object, a commodity, something to buy and sell. And that really is at the heart of a lot of our problems. So if you would just join me, we're going to close our eyes, or you could also leave them open. It doesn't matter really with this type of contemplation. Let's take a long exhalation together. And then let's breathe as though from underneath us, Ya Shafi, you could say feeling the doubling of our own healing capacity or the strengthening of it, which is what Shafi indicates. Breathing in Ya Shafi and breathing out Ya Kafi, the smallest, you could say the most necessary remedy, or you could say prescription for this moment, that which is necessary for this moment. So from the earth element, breathing in Ya Shafi, breathing out Ya Kafi. And let's feel this connection between earth as we feel it around us or underneath us and our own bones, the most solid part of our bodies. What we stand on is also what is most solid within us. And from the center of our bones, from the middle of our bones, also comes one of the most essential parts of our immune system, the T cells. So we're breathing with earth element Ya Shafi in through the nose, Ya Kafi out through the nose, feeling this connection of earth to earth within us. Each of us at our own breath rhythm. Let's proceed on now to water. And also we feel water as the living being around us and within us. So not only H2O, not only our rivers and streams and oceans and lochs, but also all the fluids within us, our fluidity, our flowing lymphatic system, our cerebral spinal fluid, our muscles, our connective tissue, all of these are participating in this healing breath of water. Ya Shafi as we breathe in through the nose, and Ya Kafi as we breathe a refined breath out through the mouth. Flowing flexibility, including the flexibility and flowingness of our feelings, of our emotions. Water around us, water within us. Let's move on now to the fire element. And in most of the languages of Middle Eastern tradition, the words for fire and for light are, if not identical as they are in Aramaic, they are at least related as they are in Arabic. So we're breathing in through the mouth, Ya Shafi, and we're breathing out through the nose, Ya Kafi. Feeling warmth in our solar plexus, that fire in the belly, fire of our purpose. We're bringing that breath up to the heart, breathing out through the heart, the light that illuminates our path. So in through the mouth, feeling warmth, out through the nose, feeling light, clarity. We burn, you could say, our past as fuel to illuminate our future. Release those past impressions that we no longer need. Ya Shafi breathed in, Ya Kafi breathed out. Feeling the warmth around us, warmth of the sun, without which nothing happens in terms of growth through us, growth in nature, growth of our food. So fire within, fire around, light within, light around. This pulsating light. And then we come to the air itself, which in all these languages that we talk about is the same as breath. It's the same as spirit. That's also the true in Sanskrit. It's even true in Latin and in Greek, although it's mistranslated. So we're feeling the breath inside the breath, as Kabir says, our breathing in through the mouth, out through the mouth, refined. Ya Shafi in, Ya Kafi out. The pores of our skin are open, as though we were breathing living breath, which is inside of us, which is around us, connecting us with the breath of each other, the breath of the planet, and the breath that is beyond planets, and returning to source. That Ruach HaKodesh, or Ruach HaDekudsha, Ruach HaIshad, Ya Shafi in, Ya Kafi out. Breath within breath within breath. Refreshing our whole nervous system through the sense of our skin, releasing impressions that we don't need for this moment, inviting, you could say, new ways of responding that we need in this moment, new neural pathways, new repertoires, releasing old habits that no longer serve us, inviting new helpful habits. And now we come to the completion. 2 phases here. Let's embrace all of these elements, as we call them, and feel them embracing us, living beings embracing us. The beautiful embrace of nature around us and within us, like a rainbow of colors, energies, textures, lights, sensations, sounds, smells, tastes. Ya Shafi breathed in, Ya Kafi breathed out. Nature becoming more conscious of itself through us. And this balanced breath of nature, each in our own way, each in our own unique way, each with our own unique natural breath, sending this out to each other. And from wherever we're sitting on the planet, sending it out to our surroundings, our neighbors, our communities, in a radiant and a positive way, to our countries, and then releasing it for the whole planet, for all sentient beings. And then releasing even that, just entering into suchness, into presence, into the clear light, so to speak. The colors disappear, returning to source. And we breathe with the source. We breathe with all beings. And from that place, still in a positive way, let's ask with the words of the prayer Nayaz, let's petition. Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space. Purify and revivify us, and we pray, heal our bodies, hearts, and souls. Amen. 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 So thank you, Pir Shabda. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to have to leave in a few minutes, unfortunately, but I'll be around for another 20 minutes or so. So thank you all. Yashakur, Yashakur, Yashakur. I lost my video. I'm not sure how that happened, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it happened.
You went into the void. It was unavoidable. Thank you so much, Murshid. And I'd like to invite Murshid Aslan to serve us.
It's an interesting time. I talk with friends and find that so many minds are so busy and filled with dis-ease, with discomfort, with the way things are going in the world, and the increasing duality and division, and they don't know really how to deal with that. These are people who've been involved with social services, people who've been involved with community outreach, people who are involved working with people a lot, and they find this strange dichotomy that's happening in our society now. On the one hand, there is disease, there is fear, anxiety, disharmony, and chaos. But as Shabda said earlier, on the other hand, there's really a lot of good coming out of this. Young people who are born in Delhi and Bangkok and a host of other cities, including the Far East and the Mid-East, have indeed just observed that the natural tone of the sky is blue. What a mind-blowing thing after you've been alive for so many years to realize that you didn't know that. The pandemic has brought the world closer together in many wonderful communal ways. It's so clear that it transcends religion, it transcends sex, it transcends nationality and country boundaries. It has made us such a more tuned community, world consciousness. And that part of it is a gift. And yet there is this darkness, and there's the light. And there's the darkness, and there's the light. The difficulty is, how do you deal with the darkness for many of my friends? And Murshid Sam was kind enough in one of his commentaries in the healing papers. He wrote that the principle that you can't bring light into a dark room by fighting the darkness. It just doesn't work. You have to bring in light. When you fight the darkness and you expend your energy doing that, I mean, it's a dark room and you're fighting the darkness, and it doesn't work well. It takes energy. It doesn't result in an improved situation so much of the time. So what are we to do? What's our work then? If you can't bring light into a dark room by fighting the darkness, how do you bring it in? And it seems to me that he implies that our work is to be the bearers of light, to be those who carry light with them. And how are we supposed to accomplish this? Much easier said than done for so many. Both he and Murshid Sam, both Hazrat Inayat Khan and Murshid Sam have given us the tools to work with that. And we just did one of those primary tools. Because the first thing we need to do is purify our intentions and ask the divine to give us strength and energy to do this work of minimizing duality and joining hearts together instead of conflicting minds, or in the milieu of conflicting minds. And we focus on the prayer nayas toward that end. And I like to do it in cases like this, personalized in the first person. In a group we say us and we, but for access to the purification and the revivification, for the enhancement of our intention and our energies, I like to do it in that fashion. We've just done it in one sense, and I want to suggest to you that it's really important that we do this practice often, to stay tuned and to be open in our interiority. If we use this practice and integrate it into our lives, then it becomes ours. And another way to do this is by making a chant out of it. And that chant can be done on fikr as well as spoken. It can be done while walking. It can be done while standing in line in the grocery store with your mask on. You know the words of the prayer. Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify me. And I pray, heal my body, heart, and soul. The chant for it goes like this. It goes, Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify me, and I pray, heal my body, heart, and soul. Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify me, and I pray, heal my body, heart, and soul. By doing this practice, we gain the attunement to the energetic needed and the purification needed to keep ourselves from falling into the same dichotomy of dualism. And then it becomes our responsibility to give voice to our soul's longing to be of service to those in need. We see that, we feel that need, and how can we stay on the track to channel that and to use it for the purpose that the divine has given to us to do. And once again, Hazrat Inayat Khan has given us a voice to this longing. He gave us the tool, and I use it in the first person, and I have taken from his prayers, from the confraternity prayers. And it's a sung practice that goes simply like this: asking for guidance from the divine. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, 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 Allah. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, Allah, Allah. And send me the peace of thy divine spirit. Allah, 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 Allah. Send me the peace of thy divine spirit. Allah, 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 Allah. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, 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 Allah. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, Allah, Allah. And send me the peace of thy divine spirit. Allah, 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 Allah. Send me the peace of thy divine spirit. Allah, Allah, Allah. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, 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 Allah. Use me for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth. Allah, Allah, Allah. And the more we invite the Shafia, the divine healing grace, into our lives in this fashion, the more we become carriers of the light. It infuses our being, and it infuses that being into service with the spirit of guidance. We can't bring light into a dark room by fighting the darkness. We need to figure out how to carry the light and practice it and use it. Ya Shakur Murshids Ham. Ya Shakur Hazrat Kahn. Amin.
Thank you so much, Aslan. Murshida Rahima.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good early evening, good late evening. Wherever you are in the world, it's wonderful that we're together right now. And I am just thinking about that light that is moving and changing. Early light, late light, dark light. I'm thinking about spring, and I'm thinking about Ramadan, and I'm thinking about the tranquility of all of the practices that we've had today. And I so appreciate the state that it has brought me to. So I am going to read very briefly, and we will do a practice together based on, it's probably backwards on your screen, but I bet you recognize it. Oh, it's okay? Good, it's good. And I wanted to combine spring and Ramadan. It's, of course, Ramadan moves forward 11 days every year, and it finally moved into this gorgeous time of year. And in the Saladin section of the Jerusalem trilogy, which Merchant Sam brought to us, there is a passage that combines the feeling of both. So here goes. What I'd like to do, though, is start with all of us just saying together, Allahu, 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 Allahu. And now if you would just keep that on your breath, I'm going to read briefly, and then we'll end with that chant as well. Consider the morning brightness and the dawn, the scented blossoms of fruit trees in the spring, the babbling music of happy rivulets, the symphony of birds upon awakening, and become aware of the blessings of Allah, the bliss which is no dream, but the reality. Allahu, Allahu, Allahu. In the morning before my prayers, Allahu. In the hours between my prayers, Allahu. Between prayer and night sleep, Allahu. The Zakir keeps remembering his deity. The Zakir is not concerned with self. The Zakir needs Allah and nothing else. We Muslims are aware to whom we pray. We feel the nearness of the one adored. There is no power or life save in Allah. There is no emptiness or fullness save He. Learn to appreciate my feeling when I say, and join me please, Allahu, 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 Allahu.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Murshida. Thank you. Thank you. Brought so much light. Thank you so much. Let's go to Murshid Himayat.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This time that we've had together on this planet for almost 2 months, it feels like an enforced Kilvad retreat. And in the beginning stages of retreat, all of the issues of our life come up, all our habits and all the things that we're all tangled in and we seek to get untangled from. And so one of the things that comes up, of course, a lot, and it's been brought up today, is a sense of fear, sense of what's going to happen, what is this fana about. And in the process of retreat, I often feel that one of the purpose of retreat, besides becoming disentangled, is becoming embraced by the divine beloved. And I would like to just share 2 Arabic words, Sufi technical words, and then do a brief practice with you. The first word is, well, I forgot what the first word is. The second word is sharb. The first word is dak. Dak means to taste, and tasting often in the meditations, particularly in Chagall, one can taste something in one's mouth, but the Sufis mean by taste being present to that which is present in your heart as you're reciting the divine name. So that it's being present to a presence. And the second word is sharb, which means to drink. And in our life, you may have worked out in the field in the sun sometime and forgot to drink. And then when you had a glass of water presented and you drank it, all the cells of your body started to dance with joy as they were rehydrated. And life has a way of drying us out. And it is the joy of the beloved that rehydrates us. So I'm going to present a zikr. It's the zikr of a man named Fakhruddin Iraqi. And it is a La Ilaha, which everyone knows here, an Ilah in the solar plexus. But then as you're rising up out of the solar plexus, the apostrophe El, Il, and then in the heart, in the center, Latifa Siri, it's Ishq. And after we say Ishq, we pause for a moment and are present to what is emerging in the mirror of our heart through this recitation. So we'll just do this a few moments, maybe 7 recitations. And then after that, we drink. And drinking is allowing that which has been evoked, that which is present in your heart, to deeply penetrate and inform your being. And this is like a preparation for what you're being prepared for. So if you would join me each in your own way, we'll say start. La ilaha illa il ish. Breathe into the heart and be present. Taste. La ilaha illa il ish. La ilaha 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 il ish. And now drink, present to that which is present in the mirror of your heart, and allow it to deeply penetrate and inform your being. Amen, amen, amen.
Thank you so much, Murshid Himayat. Okay, I want to read you from Bestowal of Blessing, a work of Murshid Sam's from, I think it was 1937. This is chapter 18, the fulfillment of Baraka, much in the, as a kind of indication on, okay, what do we do now? He says, the great work of the initiates henceforth will be to spread Baraka, blessing. By so doing, they will purify the general atmosphere, and by that, the message which belongs to the sphere itself will gradually touch the hearts and minds of all who pass through it, who breathe the air, who go to the places where the seeds of Baraka have been sown. This is the selfless propagation of the message. Amen. Amen. Let's go to Baraka and Jalaluddin in Germany. Wait, we're muted.
Hello all together. Greetings and love from Germany.
What?
Did you hear me? Do you hear me?
So we hear you, Rashida, but there seems to be like a rattling noise, like a fan or something going on in the background.
I think it's a water fountain, you know, like a little water element.
Don't know where. It's not raining now.
Okay, it sounds fine now. So, and I did mute one person during that process, so maybe that was it. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, what I would like to remind us all is also combined with Ramadan, with the prayer of Ramadan. And it's a practice which we can also use for protection. I don't know if you are still open for practices. If not, only breathe, breathe, breathe. This practice is from Murshids, and Murshids got it from Sufi Bhagat Ali in Pakistan when he had been there in the beginning of the 60s, in the last century. And Sufi Bhagat Ali was very important for him. So Murshid Sam wrote his letter in 71 on his deathbed to him, you know. And this is, we just do it. We move our head from right to left, above to the heart. And when we do this, we can feel a cross of light going through our heart. Moving to the right, we invoke the original blessing of creation with Subuhun. Moving the head to the left, we invoke the original emptiness with Kudusun. Moving the head up, we can feel the whole chain of guidance with Rab al-Makitete. And down to the heart and deeper, we address our soul force, ourself, with Baruch. Yeah, it's my dog here. Subuhun, Kudusun, Rab Malkite, Baruch. We do it 11 times. Subuhun, Kudusun, Rab al-Malikete, Baruch. 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 Subuhun, Kudusun, Rab al-Malikite, 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 Baruch. Now is a figure, only the movements. Now without movements. Only feeling the cross of light. Let go of the words. Only feeling light. Feeling the light in the body, feeling the light surrounding the body, feeling the light going out. And if you now open your eyes, imagine that this light is going through all of us. Subuhun, Kutusun, Maliti, Baruch. Amen.
Vielen Dank, vielen Dank, vielen Dank. Abraham and Halima, let's get a little music going.
Before we sing, I want to share a brief poem. These are words from Venerable Buddhist elder Thich Nhat Hanh. You are me, and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we are? You cultivate the flower in yourself so that I will be beautiful. I transform the garbage in myself so that you will not suffer. That's the key line here. I'll repeat that one. I transform the garbage in myself so that you will not have to suffer. I support you. You support me. I am in this world to offer you peace. You are in this world to bring me joy.
So we'd like to invoke the presence of the medicine Buddha and beautiful blue emanation of healing. And this particular melody and body prayer comes through our friend Petaluma, who is my neighbor. You know, the stream of blessing is living continues to flow, beautiful new forms showing up with ancient message and medicine. So there are beautiful movements to it, and first we'll sing it together, and then I'll share some of the movements as we go along. The first will alternate, directing it towards our connecting together, invoking healing for ourselves, and then connecting through the heart of all beings and invoking healing for all beings. And given that we're all connected, one nourishes the other. So melody goes like this. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, ma bekenze, ranza samogate soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato, holding hands together, strength, bekenze, Ma, opening to the lotus truth, healing, ranza samogati soha. Connecting to the heart of all beings, that earth, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza samogati soha. Teato om bekenze, bekenze, Maha bekenze, ranza Teata Om Bekense, Bekense, Maha Bekense, Ranta Samogate, So Ha, connecting to the heart of all. Teata Om Bekense, earth, heaven Bekense, Maha Bekense, Ranta Samogati, So Ha. Let's Om together.
Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Ranza Samogate Soha. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for bringing some music into our celebration today. Thank you so much. Murshid Saladin.
So,
Voila. Bismillah.
yes, this is on.
Am I on? Bismillah. Good. Thank you. One of the things that I've been feeling, let me say before I start, I love the presentations. Thank you, Shabda, for allowing everyone to participate and share. It's great to see the family. And it's even better to feel their baraka flowing through. Alhamdulillah. So one of the things that I've been noticing is that there seems to be a lot of fear out there about what we're supposed to do. And I see it in the newspapers, and I see it online, various chat rooms, and periodically I see it among our own community. Although I'm happy to say not as much as I see outside our community. And it occurs to me that I would like to share the two practices that Murshid Sam gave us. He probably got them from Inayat Khan, although he didn't say, or at least not to me. And they have to do with knowing where we are by internally listening. So I would like to offer the two wazifas of Yasami, O God who hears, when we open our inner ear to hear the voice of God within us, and Yasami, O God who sees, where we open our third eye, our inner eye, to see the vision that God puts forward for us. So we'll do them 11 times each, and we'll start with hearing. You know, Sam did say that he had really big ears. Was it you, Shabda, that said you were starting the Big Ears Society? Was that yours? For those of us that are trying to listen, so let's go into our inner ear, and we'll do 11 times. Yasami. Yasami. Internalize. Yasami. 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 Yasami, 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 Yasami. Now let's internally listen. Bismillah. Opening up our inner sight, Yabasir. Focus. See if you can connect your heart and your third eye. Put them on your breath for a moment. Yabasir. Yabasir. Bismillah. Yashakur. I'd like to do both of these together. We'll do these same things with Allahu. We'll do it 5 times. And when we say Allahu, feel yourself internalizing the presence of God. See if you can feel, if you can see, if you can hear what God has in store for you individually. Allahu. 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 May it be true for us all and for all of humanity. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Murshid. Thank you, Murshid Saladin. We have a surprise guest, not surprise, but whatever the right word would be, but one of my closest friends and one of our senior teachers, Jonathan Iqbal Lewis. So let's get a couple words from him. Hello, from you, Jonathan.
Am I on? So they
You
say.
are.
Okay. So I hardly know anyone of the hundreds of people on this call, but I do want to, the one thing I do want to say, and I'll make it short, is that I actually lived with Murshid Sam in the Mentor Garden. And I once claimed that he yelled at me more than he yelled at anyone. And Wali Ali and Shabda told me no. Saul had that distinction, and I was a meager second. So, you know, anyway, living with Murshid Sam, he was totally realized and a Zen master. And one day he passed me in the hall and he just said, sleep is a concept. And that was it. And I thought he meant going to bed and sleeping was a concept. But what I've come to realize is that that's not what he meant. What he meant is the thought that I am not and you are not totally awake at this moment and that we are asleep. That's the concept. And that everybody who's listening to this and everybody has Buddha nature, is the Buddha, is the divine, and we just don't know it. We're asleep to that, and that's the concept. And so, you know, he belonged to this Zen school. At least he was recognized. Who knows what school he belonged to, but he was recognized in the Zen school where the sixth patriarch, Hui Ning, according to Joe Miller and the readings, that he started the Zen we practice today. And Hui Ning tells an interesting story, which Murshid also said to all of us. Murshid used to say, I had all these faults, and then I asked God, what am I going to do with my faults? And then God answered him and said, your faults are my perfections, which means everything was perfect, and there was nothing that was not. And that Murshid was perfect, we're perfect, and you know, the practice is just be it. And so in the story that Hui Ning, the sixth patriarch, told us, in order to get the transmission, they were having a contest. This was, you know, like 1,000 years ago, whenever. And the fifth patriarch said, write up on the wall a slogan that will show me that you're enlightened. And if whoever writes it, and I can recognize it, I will make you the sixth patriarch. So the highest disciple there wrote this: our body is a Bodhi tree, our mind a mirror bright. Carefully we wipe them hour by hour and let no dust alight. And then when Hui Ning, who was actually to become the sixth patriarch, read this, and he realized that it was good, but it wasn't the sign of enlightenment. So he, through the long story, got to the hall and he wrote this: there is no Bodhi tree, nor stand of mirror bright. If all is void, which could be translated, which, since all is God, where can the dust alight? And that's us, folks. If all is God, when we say the zikr, we don't say La ilaha illallahu except Iqbal. We say nothing exists except you, which includes me and all of us. And there are ways to reach this perfection. And one way is just to be it and think that the journey's over. And here we are. And if we're not perfect now, when will we be perfect? And when weren't we perfect? So that's all I want to say. And I love you all. And Saul, I'm glad you're number one. Okay. Thank you, Shabda.
Iqbal, we're all number one, dear.
He meant number one at being yelled at by Murshid.
Oh,
which I believe that is your distinction.
well,
Thank you so much, Iqbal. So we have, dear friends, feel like you have so much spaciousness in your life to listen to a few more beautiful beings. We still have a couple more Murshids, or Murshid and Murshida, to speak, and we want to give them all our full heart. And so why don't we ask Khadija to speak, Murshida Khadija.
Shabda and Tamam, thank you for inviting everyone to the post. This is so wonderful. I feel like this is the dream of every circle, Sufi circle that ever was, to gather around the world like this. It's such a blessing. Thank you. Several people have mentioned Ramadan, and viewed from a distance, Ramadan seems like an ordeal. Gosh, they don't eat for sun up to sunset, but one year we kind of landed in Morocco in the middle of Ramadan, and it's like homecoming and Christmas and New Year's all rolled together, and people rest and are quiet and inside during the day. And it's true, people do fast, but at the end of the day, everybody gets together. People drive, fly, come in from everywhere to gather at this time of year. Well, among our Muslim friends, that's not happening this year. Yes, the fast is going on. Yes, the household will gather. But in the bigger picture, the huge everybody coming back to the village, that's often not happening. So if you have friends who are observing Ramadan, at least in the unseen world, if not in the seen world, reach out to them, send a postcard, send a prayer at sunrise or sunset, some way to link up with the beauty of what they're doing, and remember that we're all in this together. Let's sing one of our female ancestors. Let's sing the Ramnad with Mother Krishnabai. Let's sing Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 So, what I was considering in preparing for this is our purpose, individual and collective. A lot of the externals are kind of dropping away. Our little list of things that we're doing and thinking about, there's a little less to do and to think about when we're not going anywhere except inside. We're not making travel reservations for a couple of weeks from now. We're here and we're now. So we can really, it's a great time to look at our life purpose. And using the sword of discernment, I think it was the Buddha, but it might have been Lao Tzu, somebody can let me know, said, your work in this life is to do your work and not the work of another, however great it may be or however vast the calling. So for each of us, what is our work? we join up with the Sufis and, well, what is it to become a Sufi? I don't know, kind of maybe looks from the outside like, oh, to become a sheikh or a zikr leader or a musician or something like that. Um, but but when we enter the Sufi school, Piro Murshid Inayat Khan speaks a lot about the purpose of life. We're here to become ourselves. E. Cummings says, you're here to become nobody else but yourself. We're also here to let go of our complaints about how much karma we have or don't have personally or collectively. And I was reminded of Mother Krishnabai, who the configuration of stars under which she was born was so powerfully heavy that the local astrologers and holy people got together and passed her back and forth under a cow 4 times to see if they could clear some of the karma that she came into this life with. And yet, our Murshid Samuel Lewis said she was the most spiritual woman that he ever met. So whatever she should have been complaining about, she didn't. One of the things I've done during this time, I have a brother who's a year and a half younger than I am. And he had a very rough childhood, then went in the military and spent the rest of his adult life in the psychiatric, almost all of it, in the psychiatric ward of a VA hospital. And in my mind, I've always thought, wow, I'm so lucky. I got to be free. I got to go on the spiritual journey. I got to have all these realizations and these really spiritual friends. And I kind of stayed away from him. And I valued him in some ways as less or broken or somebody who isn't even in the game in this life. And in our most recent conversation, I realized he's used his time in the psych ward really well and probably had some good guides. Because I have read the books and the papers about Melamet, the Sufi path of the blameworthy, the ones who say, bring it on, I know how to transform karma. I know what to do. My brother has taken my father's World War II karma, my mother's trauma karma, who knows what from my other brother and myself, and then his own Vietnam War karma. And in our conversation, he says, Julia, I was the scapegoat. It's okay, I did it. And all of a sudden, it's like the sun came up in my heart toward my brother. And I realized, not that you can quantify or compare, but I had this respect for his realization arose and his accomplishment in this life and God's success in his life. And I hadn't seen it before. So in not limiting ourselves and our work we have to do, let's not stereotype one another's work because we never know. There's a fellow in our extended community here. He was the brother of a murid. He went around not always bathed, his hair not always clean. And I always stayed as far away from him as I could. And he died a couple of years ago, and out of respect for his brother, my friend, I went to the funeral, even though I didn't really like the person very much. And I sat at the funeral and wept as I watched a room full of people, one after the other, tell the good deeds that this person had done. But I had made a stereotype. I'd allowed myself to cultivate a stereotyped impression. I had no idea, but the community knew, and God knows. Even when we receive a role or a robe or a job in Sufism, it seems important to not even let that limit what we do. A young woman in our extended community had served as a combat medic in the Iraq War. And last year she was here and was initiated as a healing conductor. And we're imagining her returning to her home in Tennessee, sitting in front of the healing altar, gathering people, which this inshallah will happen around our healing transmission of Pir Murshid Inayat Khan. And I'm sensing, okay, this will be her next step. Guess what? It wasn't. A couple of days later, she gets on the plane, flying back to Nashville, and someone has a heart attack on the plane. And they say, is there a doctor, a surgeon, an RN, a chiropractor, anyone here? And my daughter raised her hand, this young woman, Stafrullah, and said, I'm a retired combat medic. And her first job as a Sufi healing conductor was to save somebody's life on an airplane, flying to Nashville. We never know what our purpose is. We never know. And whatever we identify with my first bayat, my initiation, my teacher said, just don't hold on to anything. Don't hold on to anything. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh yes, the last thing. A person in our New York City circle did a Zoom Passover Seder with her extended family in New Mexico, one child in New Mexico and her family, another child in New York with his family, and then her sister. They were all gathering on the Zoom, and everybody took a different part of the Seder to act out. And the grandson in New Mexico is 2 years old. He and his mother acted out Pharaoh and Moses. And the little boy said, let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no, I won't let your people go. Let my people go. No, Moses, I won't let your people go. Let my people go. No, I won't. And the grandchild turned as Moses, walking away toward freedom with his people. But he looked back over his shoulder and said, hey, Pharaoh, do you want to come too? So that's it. And so much love to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Murshida. Our dear Murshid Thompson, you've been so extraordinarily patient. We're with you in the UK. We're ready for fish and chips.
I think all the fish and chip shops are closed, Shabda.
Good enough. We're with you.
Yeah. Yeah, good. You know, everyone's shown such great concentration and patience. You know, we've been sitting for almost 2 hours now. So I was going to do different things. As the kind of time when I was going to be doing this kind of kept shifting, I thought, well, this is not going to do now. So this is something not exactly prepared. But Saul was talking about, you know, the incidents of fear that may be prevalent in the atmosphere, in the general atmosphere, if not within us. And there's a mantra that I'll sing now. It's a long mantra. That's Mahamrityunjaya mantra, which is, it's a mantra to Shiva. Mahamrityunjaya is the death-defying or the great death-defying mantra. So I'll just recite it a few times, and then I suggest, if you wish, you know, you hold your awareness in the heart and breathe there, and feel the ethers of the heart, and feel the space that connects us all, and then feel this mantra coming out of this space, just as it happens through this person. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhi
Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Amrityo Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Amrityo Mukshiyamamritat
We received an extra.
What?
We received an extra blessing.
Oh, did you? I can't hear. I'll sing it once more and then we'll call it a night. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Amrityo Mukshiyamamritat Om Shanti 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 Om. Ariel.
Hari Om, Hari Om. The mantra says, sever us from bondage like the cucumber is severed from its stem. Thank you so much. What a great mantra. You know, going back to that question which I posed in the beginning, it's clear to me that human beings, I should say people in my neighborhood, are recognizing our interdependence. And when I went to walking this morning, every single person said hello to me with the glance of, I hope you're doing well, I hope you're okay. And so I want to encourage us to all carry that, to teach that, to be that, to recognize our interdependence, that the suffering that's going on in India is our suffering, and the joy that's going on is our joy, and somehow to find a way to cry the tears of experiencing the joy, the suffering of all humanity, and at the same time be free from it, to know that the soul can't be stained by difficulties and can't be exalted by virtues. It's pure right from the start, from beginning till end, without beginning, without end. So let's sing the, I think we'll have to forego the questions and answers. Hopefully you've gotten all your questions answered. But let's sing Kalama. Come on, here we go. La ilaha illallah, la once more through, sing out. La ilaha illallah, May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace. 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 We invite you to stay on the call. We're going to unmute everybody. We can all say hello to one another, go into gallery view. Thank you, Murshidas and Murshids. Thank you to our hosts, Rahima and Christine. You are amazing. Thanks to each and every one of you. Naturally, we wish for your health and your strength and for your families and for all your relations and for your limitless freedom. God bless you all.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks.
Love you, Shabda.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
it's free to go. Everybody speak up. Gallery view.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shabda.
Tamam, my beloved.
Everybody.
Mom. I'm so happy to see you all.
Hello, Saul.
Thank
you.
you.
Beautiful gathering.